Hello everyone, our lesson for today is all about rationalizing radicals. If the denominator of quotient contains factors of the form nth of a to the k power, where k is less than n, and a is greater than 0, then multiplying the numerator and the denominator by nth of a to the n power minus k power will eliminate the radical from the denominator. Like for example number 1, 1 over square root of 5, since our n is 2 and the exponent of 5 is 1, so 2 minus 1 is equal to 1. So we can multiply its numerator and denominator by the square root of 5. So 1 times square root of 5 is square root of 5, and square root of 5 times square root of 5 is square root of 5 squared. Then we simplify. So the answer is square root of 5 and 5 squared, since our radical is, the index is 2. So we can cancel out and the remaining is 5, and that's the answer. And let's have example number 2. If 1 over cube root of x, where our n is 3 and the exponent of 1 is exponent of x is 1, so our k is 1. 3 minus 1 is equal to 2. Therefore, we multiplied its numerator and the denominator by cube root of x squared. And then we multiplied the numerator. 1 times cube root of x squared is cube root of x squared. Then cube root of x times cube root of x squared is cube root of x cubed. And therefore, we simplify, since there is no other factor than cube root of x squared. So we can write it down, x squared over, we canceled out 3 and the index 3, which is this is the answer, cube root of x squared over x. And let's have example number 3 is square root of 2/3. Since we can follow the laws of exponent, so we can separate its numerator and denominator by square root of 2 over square root of 3. Since our n is 2 minus 1, so we can multiply the numerator and denominator by square root of 3. And square root of 2 times the square root of 3 is square root of 6. Then square root of 3 times square root of 3 is square root of 3 squared. So we simplify the square root of 6 and cancel out, then the remaining is 3. Therefore, our answer is square root of 6 over 3. And let's have example number 4. Fifth root of x over y squared is equal to, we separate its numerator and denominator by fifth root of x over fifth root of y squared. Then our n is 5 and the k is 2. 5 minus 2 is 3. Therefore, we can multiply its numerator and denominator by fifth root of y to the 3rd power over fifth root of y to the 3rd power. Then we can multiply fifth root of x times fifth root of y cubed is equal to fifth root of x y cubed over fifth root of y squared times fifth root of y cubed is equal to fifth root of y to the 5th. Then simplify, since there is no other factor, so we can write it down, fifth root of x y cubed, cancel out y under the denominator, and this is the answer, fifth root of x y cubed over y. And so we can have another, let's do an exercises. Number 1. If our example is very simple, then this one we can have an exercises to do. Square root of 3x over the square root of 2y cubed. So we can separate its numerator and denominator. Since our n is 2 minus 3, so we can add one more. So our denominator is 2y. So we can multiply its numerator and denominator by square root of 2y. And then we can multiply its numerator 3x times 2y is square root of 6xy over 2y cubed times 2y is equal to 2 squared y to the 4th. So the answer is the square root of 6xy, cancel out 2, which rolled out 2 under the denominator, and this is the answer. Square root of 6xy over 2y squared. And let's have another exercises. Fourth root of 5x raised to the power of 8 y cubed over 27x squared. So we can separate its numerator by fourth root of 5x raised to the power of 8 y cubed over 27, fourth root of 27 x squared. Since our n is 4, then our exponent under the denominator is 2. So 4 minus 2 is equal to 2. Therefore we multiply its numerator and denominator by 27x squared, fourth root of 27x squared over fourth root of 27x squared. Then we multiply its numerator by fourth root of 5x to the 8th power and y cubed, and fourth root of 27x squared is equal to 135 x raised to the power of 10 y cubed over fourth root of 27 times 27 is equal to fourth root of 729 x raised to the power of 4. Then we can factor each since our factor of 135 is not a perfect root of 4, so we can only number x we can factor by x squared over 729 is factored by 3 to the 4th times 3 squared, then x raised to the power of 4. Then rolled out under the radical sign, which is x squared, and copy the remaining one, which is fourth root 135 x squared y to the y cubed over cancelled out 4, rolled out 3 under the denominator, which is 3 and x, and copy the remaining under the radical sign, which is 3 squared. So simplifying the radical sign, it means to remove factors from the radical until no factor in radical has an exponent greater than or equal to the index of the radical, and the index is as low as possible, so wala na. And this is the remaining is 4th root of 135 x squared y cubed and 4th root of 9, which is 3 times 3 is equal to 9, and then x over 3. So 135 divided by 9 is equal to 15. Therefore, our answer is x over 3, 4th root of 15x squared y cubed. And this is the answer. And let's have exercises number 4. Fifth root of 5x to the 7th power y squared over 8x cubed. So we can separate its numerator and denominator by 5th root of 5x raised to the power of 7y squared over 5th root of 8x cubed. Since our n is 5, then our k is 3, so 5 minus 3 is equal to 2. Therefore, we multiply its numerator and denominator by 5th root of 8x squared over 5th root of 8x squared. And then we multiply its numerator and denominator, which is 5th root of 5x to the 7th power y squared times 5th root of 8x squared is equal to 5th root of 40x raised to the power of 9y squared over 5th root of 64. 8 times 8 is equal to 64. Then x cubed times x squared is x raised to the power of 5. And then we factor. But as to simplify the to factor, which is two squared by 2x raised to the power of 5 cancelled out x under the denominator and rolled out under the denominator, then the remaining is 5th root of 40x to the 4th power y squared, and then cancelled out 5, rolled out 2 under the denominator and x, then the remaining is 5th root of 2. Since x over 2x, so we can divide this, which is 1 always have a factor of 1, so and x over x is equal to 1, so 1 over 2. And then 5th root of 40 divided by 2 is equal to 20x raised to the power of 4 y squared. And this is the answer, 1/2 5th root of 20x to the 4th y squared. And let's have exercises number 5, which is fifth root of 8x cubed over y to the 4th times 5th root of 4x to the 4th over y squared. So how we can do this? Simply we can multiply first before we rationalize, because in these two expressions, we cannot directly rationalize the denominator. So we multiply 5th root of 8x cubed times 4 is equal to 32 x raised to the power of 7. Then y to the 4th times y squared is equal to y 6 Then we factor. Since 32 is the perfect root of 5, which is 2 to the 5th, then x raised to the power of 5 times x raised to the power of 2 over, we factor also y to the 6th power, which is y to the 5th times y. Then we rolled out the factors, which is cancelled out 5 under the denominator. We rolled out 2 under the denominator and x, and the remaining is fifth root of x squared over rolled out y under the denominator. So 2x, there you have 5 here, square root. Don't forget to put the index, which is fifth root. Since our n is 5 minus 1, because the exponent of y is 1, so 5 minus 1 is 4. We multiply its numerator and denominator by fifth root of y. Yeah, there is also y, so we can multiply y to the fifth root, fifth root of y to the 4th, its numerator and denominator. Then we multiply its numerator by 2x times y is 2xy. Fifth root of x squared times fifth root of y to the 4th is fifth root of x squared y to the 4th. And y times y is y squared. Then y times y to the 4th is y to the 5th. Then cancelled out y, which is 2x over y. And fifth root of x squared y to the 4th over cancelled out 5. The remaining is 5 rolled out under the radical sign. So our answer is 2x. Y times y is y squared. And the answer is 2x y squared over fifth root of x squared y to the 4th. And this is the answer. Hope that you like it. Then if you have comments below, write down your comments under my. Bye bye.